In today's show, I'm going to teach you how to use one of the best indicator out there to trade Bitcoin or any cryptocurrency out there. This indicator is accurate. And I'm going to explain to you guys why this indicator is accurate and how you can apply it on a day-to-day basis when you invest or trade any crypto asset out there. If you're new on this platform, you are welcome. If you are a returning subscriber, you are welcome. Yeah, I create content to help you understand what goes on in the crypto space. I talk about market structure, support and resistance, when I'm buying, and when I take out profit. What I do here is not a financial advice. I am doing this for educational purpose only. So if say you want to buy any asset out there, you have to make sure you do your own due diligence. For those of you who are watching on TikTok, if you want to, follow me live or what I'm doing here, like you want to see my chart, everything, because I cannot share my chart here on TikTok. You can go straight away to my YouTube channel, the BETONG Crypto. You can go to my bio. You see my channel link there. Connect with me there. Okay, guys, where are we now? We are about to talk about USDT dominance. This indicator is USDT dominance, and I'm going to teach you guys how to use it accurately. If you learn how to use this accurately, you won't need anything else out there in the market. You just need to look at where the liquidity is with Bitcoin to know whether the market makers are going to push price towards this area or towards this zone or that zone. And once you must have mastered everything, you are going to be trading like a pro. Trust me. Now, let's dive into this. I want to show you guys something, you know. Before I even go there, let me explain to you guys what is USDT dominance. What is it all about? When you see dominance going up in value, it means investors are throwing more USDT. That means they are converting their cryptocurrency into into stable coins. Like USDT dominance, or sorry, stable coins like USDT or USDC or any other stable coins out there. But the most popular one is USDT. That's why it's very important. We look at the USDT chart. When most of times it correlates with exactly what goes on in the crypto space. When dominance is increasing in value, it means investors are selling their assets into stable coins like USDT. And when the value is dropping down in value, it means that investors are actually favoring Bitcoin or cryptocurrency, right? Yeah. So I'm going to show you guys the chart now of USDT dominance. So this is it. And when you see dominance dropping in value like this, it means investors, as I mentioned, are favoring cryptocurrency. And when it's increasing in value, it means investors are favoring dollar or stablecoin. So how do you apply this on a day-to-day basis when you're trading cryptocurrency? Now, when you are analyzing the market, usually where do you start, or where do you begin? Where do you begin? You begin from the weekly time frame. You look at the weekly setup, how it is. In this case, this is how it looks like for um for USDT dominance. This is how it looks like. This is the weekly setup. You can see we are actually below this um s- support zone, right? It's the support zone for dominance. You can mark it, so whatever goes on here, it means if we keep seeing USDT dominance rejecting this support zone, there's high chances that they want to mark dominance to the upside. They want to push it to the upside. So it means investors are beginning to offload most of their crypto bags into dominance, like into stable coins. They are selling into stable coins. They want to cash out and be safe, protect, be in dollar. In this case, it's stable coin. So what are you gonna do now? You go to the price of Bitcoin, the same time frame. Look at where we are in the cycle. We are at this top here. So it means for us to see the next leg to the upside, for us to see Bitcoin move to the upside and make higher high. Let's say for us to see Bitcoin go right up to about $135,000, then dominance must break structure. So if you go now back to dominance, for us to see Bitcoin go and create the next all-time high, dominance has to, break structure down here. When dominance was around this area, we saw how Bitcoin was around $123,000, right? That was like 3 weeks ago. Now we are here, and what happened with the price of Bitcoin? You see, the price of Bitcoin came right down to about $108,000, right? So dominance is actually directly is correlated with Bitcoin directly. And when you know how to go about Bitcoin, then you know that Bitcoin moves the altcoin market. So when dominance gives you the green light to buy Bitcoin, right? Then Bitcoin gives you the green light to buy your altcoins. Do you understand this? And let's drop down to the daily time frame for dominance. Let's see where we are currently. Now, look at this. Look at the current price action. This current price action. We are where? We are below. Price is breaking down the 50-day moving average. So whenever you see price on the daily time frame below the 50-day moving average on USDT dominance, you are looking to long Bitcoin that day, or long altcoin that day. But when you see dominance above the 50-day moving average, then you are looking to short Bitcoin or short your altcoins. This will mean that the long time price action will be downward or upward depending on where price is. If price is below the 50-day moving average, it means you have to actually buy your Bitcoin or buy more Bitcoin or trade Bitcoin or trade or look for longs, right? Then when price is above, you look for short. In that case, like for those who are trading, Now, the daily time frame usually is the time frame that sets the day, that set price action for the day. You look at the daily time frame to determine what price is going to do that day. And when you see that price is trading above, like dominance is trading above the 50-day moving average, you are now looking for short. So let's go to Bitcoin. Let's see what is Bitcoin on the daily time frame, because we have seen that dominance is breaking, is breaking right now. So what is Bitcoin doing? Okay, Bitcoin is going towards the 50-day moving average. So does it mean that because of this we should just buy Bitcoin? No. It doesn't mean like that. Like we should just buy Bitcoin because of it. Now, what it means is this: when we see dominance break below and stay below this moving average, it means there's high chance that Bitcoin is gonna break and stay above this other 50-day moving average here. So usually what I say to myself, like, well, if you want to be conservative, like, not to say to myself, the most accurate way to trade is to be more conservative, like allow price to play out. So in this case, you wait for Bitcoin to break and close above the 50-day moving average before you start looking for any buy opportunity. Now, we have to also look at market structure, where we are with structure before we place any long-term buy or long-term sell or long-term short or long-term buy. So looking at this structure currently, I would say that Bitcoin breaks structure to the downside, you see? And this could mean it's a fee down here, and the target might be the better moving average here. It could be on the daily time frame. And I'm going to confirm this only when I see Bitcoin break or is not able to break and close above the 50-day moving average on the daily time frame. So if we reject this moving average, we reject to close above it, then it means that there's high chances we are going straight right down here to about 100K. I mean, I'm not saying we're going to go straight there, Of course, 105K is the target. If we say we're not able to go and like break and close above the 50-day moving average on the daily time frame. Now, when you go to dominance, let's see what is going on there. Now, if Bitcoin is not able to now break and close above that 50-day moving average, it means investors want to keep marking price to the upside. They want to keep like taking, so not like mark price to the upside, but they want to favor more USDT dominance. So they want to be taking their money into USDT, into stable coins. In that case, dominance is going to increase in value, and the target is going to be the BETONG moving average here, this moving average here. So if you have this my setup, like the alpha trend, the BETONG moving average, the 50-day moving average, the 50-day moving average, guys, you can trade any asset out there. Of course, you just need to go and look at what dominance is doing. After looking at what dominance is doing, go now to correlate the price with your Bitcoin or your crypto out there. So if you see that Bitcoin is looking bullish, Bitcoin is like showing strength, then you want to look at that opportunity, with your altcoins. Now, let me show you guys another chart here that I love. And this chart now is going to help me, or it helps me identify key structures or key areas in the market that I like. Yeah, not like key areas, but there's a bias arrow that I want to see. And this arrow is something that I love whenever I'm either buying or trading any coin. Now, this is a bias arrow. You can see if I zoom out, you're gonna see that there's this red arrow just directly on top of this wick here on the daily time frame for USDT dominance. Now, if you go to Bitcoin, you see that on below the price of Bitcoin, we have this green arrow. This green arrow signifies bullish. Meanwhile, when it's above price, it signifies bearish. So this arrow, because it's above the USDT dominance, I'm being bearish for dominance and bullish for Bitcoin. So this indicator has been accurate ever since I created it, or like ever since I built it. Whenever when I look at the daily setup, I see that there's this red bias arrow, and on top of dominance, I'm gonna go and look at Bitcoin. I'm gonna see that there's gonna be green. For Bitcoin, it's gonna be green. You see, Bitcoin is green, showing green below. So this is bullish. Now, where is the target for Bitcoin? So, you have to understand the target. Like, the target usually is the nearest moving average that you see or that you find on the chart. And most of the time, you have to look at the 50-day moving average. That's the most important moving average for me. Like, it's actually switch price from either bearish or bullish. So in this case now, I'm going to look at the target to be around $114,000 for Bitcoin. So when I see Bitcoin at that price point, what am I going to do? I'm going to sell my Bitcoin. I'm going to cash out profit. Then now start looking to short Bitcoin. Why? Because that zone is going to act as support. Sorry, as resistance. That moving average will act as resistance. You can see why. Look at this zone here. We have rejection here. Yeah, rejection. So there's high chances that if price gets here again from the downside, we're going to see price reject that area. So looking now in the past, you see that, like zooming out, you see that this zone in the past acted as support. You can see now it's going to act as resistance. And the way price moves, if price break and close above any resistance level or support level, price is going to come back to retest that level. So I'm selling, or I'm going to cash out profit, knowing that even if price goes up, I should come back there and I'm going to buy it. So this is how you go about. You can do this on every time frame. Now let's go to the lower time frame. Let's look if we have some trades here for today. But guys, don't forget what I mentioned in my previous video. We are going to see Bitcoin go to about 120K before anything else is going to happen. At least, at least. Why? Because of this vector here, this huge vector. Yeah, that's my reason. And this vector is liquidity. For the market makers to push price downward, they had to spend a lot of money to push price downward towards this level, and are going to recover this money by pushing price back up there, at least recovering half of that candle. Now, dropping down to lower time frame, the 4 hours time frame, what do you see? You see, Bitcoin is struggling around the 50 moving average. The price is rejecting this moving average for sure. And if you go now to dominance, what do you see? It's trading below it. So if dominance is going to reject to close above this moving average, then there's high chances that Bitcoin is gonna also it's gonna continue moving to the upside, and the target is gonna be where we have this vector, this unrecovered vector candle. See, yeah, to be the target, yeah, this zone. So this is where I'm targeting to cash out. I'm already in a Bitcoin trades. I bought right down here. So I'm looking at this zone to be my target zone to cash out profit. I'm saying so because I've already seen that there's lots of liquidity around $114,000. So you can drop now down to the liquidity heat map to see whether we have liquidity in those areas. Like you don't just say buy because dominance is doing that, or but dominance is doing this. You have to also look at where maybe dominance might flip on you. So looking at this chart currently, let's see where we have liquidity. Like if we can confirm liquidity here, you can see we have liquidity around $114,000, right up to 117. So, but I'm looking more closely to 114 and also more closely to $108,000. You can see I want to cash out profit there, because if say I'm not able to cash out profit there, there's high chances price might spike up there, then drop right down to $108,000. But if say price break and close above that price point, then there's high chances we are gonna come back and retest this zone here, this 50-day moving average on the 4 hours time frame. So, but also because we are here, I want to sell. Why? We might still come right down to $108,000. Looking at this liquidity heat map. So yeah, that's what you should be looking at, dominance, and also look at what other price action is doing, and from there you can better make you can decide what to do with your Bitcoin, with your altcoin, and so on and so forth. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. You have learned something today. At least if you have learned something today, smash the like button, subscribe if say you haven't yet subscribed, and see you guys in the next one. Until then, guys, have a nice day. Bye bye. Ciao.